So Tom Lee just stated that this is one of the most hated V-shaped recovery. Let's go ahead and take a listen to what he had to say.
Why don't we talk a little bit about where the markets stand overall right now? Because we're looking at both the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, and the Nasdaq 100 all closing at new highs again on Friday. It's the best quarter for technology since the second quarter of 2020. What's happening, and how do you see this playing out?
Well, this is still the most hated V-shaped rally. And it, of course, has a lot to do with when stocks fell in a waterfall decline into April. Nobody likes to be sitting on stocks, so a lot of folks liquidated at the lows. But we know that whenever the VIX is above 60 and falls below 30, you've made a decisive low. And now visibility is better. Tariffs aren't as bad as we expected, and the inflation impact actually has been very muted. And actually, outside of tariffs, underlying inflation is actually much lower than people expected. And I think the Fed is, even if they're holding now, the bond market doesn't believe it. If you look at the 2-year, they think the Fed's 2 cuts behind. The 10-year is now down to 4.2, which means the Fed can be more dovish in the next 12 months, and that's a tailwind for stocks.
Can you explain how we have this big, beautiful bill, which people are saying $3.3 trillion added to our deficits and everything else, and yet you're looking at the 10-year coming down?
Yes. It shows you that markets don't view the U.S.'s debt sustainability purely as its budget, because I think there's a lot of hidden value on the U.S. balance sheet, from natural resources to buildings they own to the value of gold is undervalued. And in a way, when people say the U.S. can't find buyers of its treasuries, it's actually finding it. It's going to be stablecoins. Stablecoins are going to replace any foreign holder of treasuries because...
Is that a temporary situation? Like once you do that to a certain level, then sort of living in its own universe?
True. It depends. I mean, stable coins are 250 billion today. The total circulating supply of dollars is in the nearly 10 trillion. So stable coins can grow. A lot of stable coins transactions happen outside the U.S. So dollar dominance could actually be much higher in a stable coin world. But the main thing is it's at 4.2%, the 10-year. And I think that means the bond market isn't as concerned.
Right, but we thought that the bond vigilantes were going to say, no mas, we're not doing this.
Yes. I think the bond vigilantes are essentially correct. The U.S. should not be running a deficit like this. But for whatever reason, we're not at the levels yet where debt sustainability is a question.
Could that change? It's weird when these sentiment changes come.
So yes, we've had a beautiful V-shaped recovery, but in my opinion, this rally is coming to an end. So based off the technicals, this could be our potential top right here for the Nasdaq at around 550. If not, then I'm looking for a 2% increase to around 560. Then after that, I'm definitely looking for some type of pullback to fill these gaps down below. So on the Nasdaq, from current prices, if the market is looking to close this gap down here, we're looking at a pullback of over 10%. And to fill the second gap to the downside, we're looking at a pullback of over 18%. Now on the S&P 500, we also have 2 gaps to be filled towards the downside. If the market is looking to fill the first gap, we're looking at a pullback of over 7%. And for the second gap, we're looking at a decline of over 14%. Now, in my most recent video, I made a comment saying that it was getting quite dangerous to be holding certain tech stocks while the Nasdaq was at new all-time highs. And to be specific, I named Palantir as one of those stocks. Now, when I made that recording, Palantir was trading at around 144, and that was on Thursday. Fast forward to Friday, Palantir ended up crashing below support at 135, which was a pullback of over 9%. So with that said, Palantir has now recaptured support at 135. If the stock can stay above this level, then look for a retest of 144. And if it falls back below 135, then look for a complete pullback to 125. Now, another stock that I mentioned that is currently in overbought conditions is ticker symbol NVDA, Nvidia. So after breaking above 153, Nvidia is now pushing towards resistance at 160. If the stock can't get above this level, then look for a pullback down to 153 and then to 148. And in terms of upside target, Nvidia has the potential to push towards 186. From current price, we're looking at an increase of over 17%. All right, guys, if you like this video, go ahead and leave a thumbs up and let's get this video out to more viewers. With that said, thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one.